Sarvadharmasthapakatvam sarvadharmasvarupakaha acharyanam mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya te namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, O Sri Ramakrishna, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, my salutations to you. Sri Ramakrishna telling us about the path of knowledge taking us towards Brahman. And he has told us about the difference, in fact, a stage which is even much higher than the Jnanis. And then in that example Sri Ramakrishna gave, the Jnani reaches the roof of the house, climbing the steps with the process neti neti. This is not, this is not, this is not. Climbing each step. He says, oh, this is not the roof. This is still a step. Next step. Oh, this is not the roof. This is a step. Neti neti. This is not, this is not, this is not. And finally when he reaches the roof, he says, ah, this is the roof. And then he says, aham brahmosmi. Now that is the realization. Then he says, saha aham, I am that. But Sri Ramakrishna says, the Vijnani is even a step higher than an ordinary Jnani who has realized Brahman. Through the process of neti neti, through negating the existence of steps as roof, he has ultimately then ended upon roof. Sri Ramakrishna says, the Vijnani gets that much higher realization than the Jnani, that the roof and the steps are made up of the same material. It is the same brick, it is the same brick dust, it is the same lime, it is the same mortar, it is the same cement that has constructed the roof as well as the steps. That is the ultimate realization. And that's when the Vijnani has a totally different outlook towards this entire creation. Vijnani knows what material is used for roof, the same material is used for steps. What I am perceiving as Brahman, the same Brahman is pervading this entire creation that I am looking around me. All these objects, the living beings, the non-living beings, the moving beings, the immoving beings, all these things, the entire creation is pervaded by the same Brahman. And then that spark of love for this entire creation gets ignited. Then the Vijnani starts seeing unity in diversity. In all these different forms and attitudes that I am seeing around me, all these beings are comprised of the same tattva, of the same element, of the same Brahman. These are nothing but modifications of the same Brahman. The same Brahman which is Nirguna has become Saguna in these objects. The same Brahman which is Nirakar has taken this Akar, has taken the forms of all these different types of creatures. That is the ultimate realization. And that sprouts the love for the Brahman and the beings pervaded by the Brahman. So that is the difference between the Dhyani and the Vijnani that Sri Ramakrishna has told. Now talking about the path of knowledge, Sri Ramakrishna says in Kali Yuga, this path is not proper for us. It is not proper for a man to keep on repeating, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, when the body consciousness is still so much active. With the body consciousness so active, there is no point in saying Aham Brahmasmi. There is no point in repeating Soham, Soham. What is the point? If there is small pain somewhere in my hand or in my back, my entire attention from that Saha Aham, from that Aham Brahmasmi, it goes, that attention goes to the pain that my physical body is having. So Sri Ramakrishna says that path is okay. That was okay for those sages and munis of the yore who could easily cut off the ties between the senses and the sense objects. They didn't have the body consciousness. They could cut off the body consciousness just like that. And therefore we read in the scriptures that all those rishis, all those saints, all those sages, they could sit for their austerities, not just hours, days and weeks and months and years together. They didn't have any body consciousness, but that doesn't happen with us. So what Sri Ramakrishna says, it is better, rather than repeating, I am God, I am God, I am God, Aham Brahmosmi, rather take up the attitude, I am God's servant. Take up the attitude, I am mother's child. Take up the attitude, I am Lord's dearest friend. The path of devotion has provided with us with so many options. The 6 bhava that we can approach the God. We can approach the God as a parent, the vatsalya bhava. We can approach God as a child. We can approach God as a friend. We can approach God as spouse. So many ways we can approach God. But Sri Ramakrishna says that the approach of being a servant of God or being a child of God, these are the best attitudes to have for the devotion for God. And Sri Ramakrishna says, ultimately both path of knowledge as well as path of devotion, both these, they lead us to the same goal. And then further Sri Ramakrishna substantiate, if the man comes to love God, he says, now we are all living in this world. We have our duties to follow. We have our tasks to do. So many household tasks, so many professional tasks. Now, if we fall in love with God, is it going to hamper our duties? Sri Ramakrishna says, it is not so. In fact, as your love for God increases, whichever form of love you may, whichever attitude you may start loving God, attitude of servant, attitude of child, attitude of friend, attitude of spouse. Sri Ramakrishna says, if a man comes to love God, he need not trouble himself about all these worldly activities. He need not bother about himself. He says, as the love increases, as the bonding between the devotee and the Lord, as the bonding between the Bhakta and the Bhagwan, it gets strengthened, duties automatically fall off. Duties automatically start coming down. Then you don't have to do much work. God will see to it. God will see to it that my child doesn't have to spend so many hours on work. Rather, he can spend those hours contemplating on me, meditating on me, thinking about me, and loving me. That is God's responsibility then. And then for that, Sri Ramakrishna has given some beautiful examples here again. Sri Ramakrishna says that one needs a fan only as long as there is no breeze. It happens when it is very hot and there is no breeze flowing around. We try to switch on the fan. In the olden days, there were no fans, there were handheld fans. So Sri Ramakrishna says, one needs fan only till there is no breeze. The fan may be laid aside if the southern breeze starts blowing. The moment the breeze starts blowing, then we don't feel like fanning ourselves. And the breeze will take care of it. That beautiful cool breeze, that will cool us down. Then we don't have to fan ourselves. So Sri Ramakrishna says, it is just like that. Then what is the need of fan? When the breeze, when the nature is providing you with that supply of air to cool yourself down, there is no need. Then another example Sri Ramakrishna gives. The activities that you are engaged, automatically they try to come down. And then he gives an example of a lady who is carrying a child. He says, the moment the daughter-in-law is with child, her mother-in-law gives her less work to do. And as the days progress, the amount of work comes down, comes down, comes down. And when the time of delivery nears, she is not allowed to do any work, and then there is no work at all. Now it is only the mother and the child in the womb. When the delivery time comes, there is no work at all. And when the child is born, her only duty is to take care of the child. Now there is only the mother and child, no other work. So this is another most practical example Sri Ramakrishna has given to teach us how God takes care of our activities when we start loving the God through any attitude. So this is Sri Ramakrishna's teaching to us in terms of developing love for God. And Sri Ramakrishna says, in today's Kali Yuga, the attitude of devotion is far better also, although he says attitude of knowledge, the path of knowledge also takes you to the same goal. The process of neti by which the jnani has reached the top, the roof, and the path of love. Develop the love for roof, and again you have to climb the steps. You cannot avoid, you cannot reach roof without climbing the stairs, without climbing the steps. So whichever attitude you take, whether you take the attitude of neti or you take the attitude, oh, I have to reach the roof, I am going to my God, I am going to love my God, let my devotion sprout, let me have complete devotion to my God, that also will take you to the roof, because you are climbing the same steps. So Sri Ramakrishna says, there is no difference between any of the paths that you take. And whichever path you take, it is not that you are going to be hampered in carrying out your worldly duties. And as one reaches nearer and nearer to God, Sri Ramakrishna says, our duties automatically start falling off. And then we have to just hold the lotus feet of the... In fact, on here, Sri Ramakrishna had given one more example. He had indicated that when you are in this world, hold God with one hand and keep on doing your worldly duties with another hand. And as you approach nearer and nearer to God, Sri Ramakrishna says, your duties will automatically lessen. Then your other hand, which is doing worldly duties, will also become free. And then hold God with both the hands and reach your ultimate realization. Gain your ultimate enlightenment, holding God with both the hands. Now you don't have to bother for the worldly activities. They will be taken care of. So that is the beauty of our loving the God. Whichever attitude we may take, attitude of servant, attitude of child, attitude of friend, attitude of spouse, the 6 attitudes Sri Ramakrishna has indicated. He will give an example for them also in the coming sessions as we reach those topics. Till then, Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.